The automation technology IO Link is a relatively new addition to Australian manufacturing. Can you supply a brief overview, including some of its most important benefits?
IO Link was originally developed by a consortium of PLC manufacturers, sensor manufacturers and actuator manufacturers. Previously we could have visibility down to the field bus level, but to have full visibility of the I/O and the ability to parameterize the I/O was not possible at the time. IO Link was developed to allow that visibility and the possibility to parameterize devices, and at the same time to decrease the actual installation costs of those devices with low cost wiring rather than expensive bus system wiring. IO Link is an expansion system which allows you to keep your existing bus system architecture and to expand to standard and intelligent I/O devices. It does this using a low-cost 3-core connector, a standard connector cable, and we have a serial communication, point-to-point communication between the field bus device and the IO Link device. The three main benefits of IO Link are the reduction in installation costs, the ability to parameterize IO Link devices over the network, and the ability to extract advanced diagnostics from the IO Link devices.
What is the proposition for manufacturers who are about to automate their manufacturing process to consider integrating IO Link with a new or an existing Profibus Profinet network?
There are many considerations, not least of which is the ability to have full visibility from a diagnostics point of view and to allow preventative maintenance. The IO Link devices allow us to, for instance, to check when a sensor is becoming contaminated, for instance, on a photoelectric sensor lens, and the preventative maintenance can be put in place to clean that lens before the machine stops. Another advantage would be to be able to parameterize the unit. So if you have a flexible manufacturing line and the parameters of sensors and actuators need to be changed for different products that are going down the line at a different time, the IO Link can allow the reparameterization of that automatically through the PLC and the HMI rather than an operator having to individually adjust each individual device. Another benefit would be the ability to use low-cost standard cabling to run to the I/O devices where they're most likely to be damaged and need replacing.
Over recent years, Balluff has predominantly driven the growth of IO Link in Australia. What do you have to offer new customers, and how do you differentiate yourself from local competitors?
Balluff have a comprehensive range of both the IO Link field devices, such as sensors and intelligent I/O, such as smart lights, RFID readers, intelligent photoelectric sensors with advanced diagnostics, and at the same time Balluff can also offer the connectivity side. So Balluff have IP67 IO Link masters and sensor hubs to connect all the devices together. On top of this, we can offer application support and integration support across various PLC platforms. Coupled with this, we also have a big investment recently in a brand new $2 million facility, which includes a training facility, so we will be running IO Link training courses throughout the next years.
One of your earliest adopters of IO Link was Peerless Foods, who had an existing Profibus network controlling their process. What was their reason for choosing IO Link?
Peerless Foods had lots of measurement information to gather and to send back to the control network from a tank farm application. The IO Link system allowed them to make a low-cost installation. We had an IO Link A to D converter which collected the information from the analog sensors and converted this to a digitized format which could then run back to the IO Link master over a standard cable. There was no need for screen cable, which reduced the installation costs and kept a secure data transmission. Further developments of the IO Link technology and the sensors involved allows the sensors now to communicate directly using the IO Link to the IO Link master and onto the Profibus or Profinet network. This means that the A to D converter is no longer required and the sensor can be parameterized over the IO Link from the HMI or from the PLC directly. In addition to this, further developments of the IO Link technology in the IO devices has allowed the IO devices to sit directly on the IO Link, which means we don't need the A to D converter in lots of instances. For example, a pressure sensor can collect that information directly communicating on the IO Link network, and also then we can change any parameters that need to be changed on the pressure sensor via the IO Link. If a sensor fails for any reason, it can be replaced, and the parameters that were stored in that sensor can be automatically downloaded from the IO Link without any input from the operator.
Heller Manufacturing, a lighting systems supplier to the automotive industry, is another important Balluff client. Why did they choose IO Link?
In this case, the IO Link technology allowed for low-cost, easy integration of RFID readers onto the existing Profibus network. Previously, a dedicated Profibus RFID processor would have had to be used, which would have been more expensive than the IO Link enabled RFID reader head, which plugged straight into the IO Link master, which sat on the Profibus network as another device. So really it was a lower cost implementation of an existing technology.